What you are about to see is a discussion video based on the information and knowledge of the current reaction done by ArchitectCobra. Theories and ideas said in this video may be 100% wrong and may be guesses. For those of you who are lore Lanties and wish to ruin the show for ArchitectCobra for giving him information that you would only get from future episodes that he has not gotten to yet, then I suggest you turn this video off now. This is not the video for you. Hello everybody and welcome to Fairy Tale Discussions, the first episode, or first video of mine doing this. We just finished the Starry Skies arc on my reaction, so I decided why not start discussions now, and we'll be doing discussion videos for all the other reactions from here on out. Today I have Richard and Justin joining me to basically discuss Fairy Tale throughout the whole thing. They have both seen Fairy Tale to the maximum you could possibly see Fairy Tale. You've seen every episode, right?
Yeah.
And all the manga and all that stuff.
Well, Richard, I don't think
I
does
don't
the
read the manga, but he does.
Yeah. So they know everything about Fairy Tale, so they won't be as blind as I am discussing stuff. So just keep that in mind. So let's, I guess, start talking about the arc in general. I thought, because it was a filler arc, but a lot of people are saying it's canon, right?
Well, it's kind of bit and bit, really. I believe there was, if I remember, I read somewhere. Actually, I even heard it somewhere that it was confirmed a good bit canon. There is some bits that kind of don't add up for some other reasons. I can't quite remember them. I'll have to look into that more. But as far as I know, it's not as filler as people make it out to be. It's not complete filler, like, of a whole arc. It's not the whole thing.
Okay. Yeah, so this arc was basically centered pretty much around Lucy. Kind of it was about Lucy because her dad gave her the clock hand, and then Michelle came up, was like a family friend of hers, and then the Irrational Sace captured her later on. So it's like, yeah, it's pretty much about her, the entire thing. So this is like the third arc all about Lucy. Something like that.
That has strong connections and has things to do with her. I believe something. Believe it or not, I think the Phantom Lord arc had a lot to tie into Lucy as well, because
right, yeah.
The whole reason this whole crap was happening was because they wanted to take Lucy.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, let's see. One of my favorite bits early on was finding out that, I know it's so small to like everyone else. Like, I'm the only person in the world who thought this was cool. But Cobelios and Cobra, both of them coming back was very, very cool for me.
Well, I mean, personally, I thought that part was interesting as well. I mean, I can't say definitely not something I saw coming when I originally watched it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think I want to say this might have not have. Yeah, I couldn't have foreseen it, to be honest. I didn't start reading the manga till after I watched a bunch of the series, so I had already watched the series, and I don't think I want to believe that wasn't even in the manga. I think that's why people call it filler, because I don't think it's from the manga.
Yeah, I think some people were talking about that. Dark Wolf lets me know a couple times if there's no spoiler comments. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, I'm probably the only person who liked that chemistry between Cobra and Cobelios. But it's cool to see a character that was introduced like an arc or so ago. Kinana, right? Kinana, I think.
Yeah, that's
her human name. But she was introduced like an arc or ago, whatever. And all of a sudden she got backstory, and so it's like, it's really cool to see that. I wonder if any of the other characters they introduced at the same time, like the girl with the two ghosts, and like the big muscled guy or whatever. Anyways, those guys were introduced the same time Kinana was. So also it's been 7 years, so so they're probably doing something else by now. But let's see, what else is like really good about this arc that I liked a lot. I guess like the Irration Seis, the Neo Irration Seis, had like new powers, and that was really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, like when we saw the crap, what's his name, the shoot, the Archbishop.
Oh right, yeah.
I immediately recognized him as Brain, or Zero, whichever form he's in.
Actually, no. The Archbishop was the old man, the guy that worked supposedly under him. Something Lapointe, something.
Cardinal.
Yeah, Card. I think.
Card.
Yeah.
Card.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Cardinal Lapointe. Yeah, because the Archbishop was the bishop was the guy who was currently being controlled essentially. Yeah.
But yeah, so it was pretty interesting. Like immediately, I recognized him. Well, maybe immediately. I don't know. Anyways, it was cool to see him back. And it sort of helped tie things together, and like, cause like, the bear guy, who turned out to be the staff. I can't remember who his name is. But he was destroying churches, and then it was discovered that like the church was sort of doing the same thing at one point, and then it was like revealed that like Brain or Zero was a cardinal in it, so it kind of helped explain that they're being manipulated. So there's like three factions here in this arc. There was the Fairy Tale Guild, the church, and then the Legion Platoon. Yeah, the Legion Platoon, and the Neo Ration Seis. So I love the opening that I watched this last reaction, because it showed all three factions like splitting off and like walking separate directions, and it's like really cool to see that. It's a very cool symbolism. But yeah, overall, I think this arc was pretty alright. I didn't hate it. There was nothing that I really like, well, except for the butt Jiggle Gang stuff and
don't pick them up.
All that stuff.
There's a place where this all horrible.
And the I don't know. Ichiya was pretty tame this arc. He was pretty tame.
So bad. I was more concerned. Like I could tell you were concerned too. Every time the butt Jiggle Gang came on the screen, Cobra, your face just died.
Yeah.
You died inside. Like all emotions were gone.
Especially
what about the chest Jiggle Gang?
Yeah, especially them.
You can't forget them.
It didn't click. It didn't click with me right away that they were like the same characters pretty much, but like different people. Until like they said it, I'm like, oh god, and I was so done. I was like, all right. But yeah, like I said, Ichiya was pretty tame this arc. He didn't really like flip out on anybody like he used to. Like with Urza, he was like smelling her and like all that stuff. So he was
the cat from the Analyst guy. Was the symptom to the same thing?
Yeah.
Oh jeez, yeah.
But yeah, it was a pretty decent arc. I was okay with it. What did you guys think of it as a whole?
Well, I mean, I personally liked this arc when I originally saw it, and I still like it now. The only problem I have with this arc is just the existence of the butt Jiggle Gang. They're like my bad. Them and the chest Jiggle Gang and any other gang that shakes any body part in order to power up or something.
I mean, what can you go from here? Like really, like
I don't know.
Like you can go really vulgar with it, but yeah. Also, they're all men, so I mean.
Don't remind me.
Yeah.
Oh man.
What do you think, Richard?
I don't know. Go ahead, Richard. Yeah.
I thought it was pretty good.
Okay. No, I'm just kidding. Keep going.
Not sure, what exactly to say. It was good.
Anything that you disliked about it, or you really liked about it?
I like anytime we get to see Gildarts fight because he's a badass.
That is true.
Just saying.
That is true. He did have a pretty cool fight with the head guy. Oh, the Octo Geezer that Nazi calls him. Yeah, that was a pretty cool fight. The first time he fought with Octo Geezer, and then like later on, oh my god, that freaking uppercut he did to Zero was incredible. I loved that bit so much.
That would reach the very heavens.
Just a thunderous, like, he just jolts past Natsu, just like straight up goes, brrr, just uppercut straight to the ceiling, and then lands like hard on candles. Yeah,
that were still burning. That the smoke was coming out from under him.
But he was a doll, to be fair, so he didn't probably feel anything at all. But that was such a weird concept. A little bit was the whole doll thing. Like everybody started becoming dolls and like being revealed as dolls. Like Zero was a doll. Freaking crap. What's her?
Michelle.
Michelle. Well, yeah, she was a doll, but like her powers let her become. Like change her body into something, into her Michelle form. But and then like all those church guys like guarding Michelle, the real one, all those people were like dolls. Who else was like? I think that's it.
Well, I mean,
There is. Sorry, go ahead.
well, no, I was losing my train of thought. Anyways, I was going somewhere, but then I lost it. So you take over, Richard, and see what you want to say first.
All right. One thing I just wanted to kind of mention about the so-called dolls, more like a homunculus per se.
Mm-hmm.
But
Or
Michelle was
like,
actually a doll.
right?
True doll.
Yeah. They were more like kind of like a voodoo.
Puppets.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. They were just made of from objects. Like Zero was a lock of hair. All the people I think they were just rocks, right? Or blocks, just something like that. I think that's what Gildarts said when he destroyed
Yeah,
them.
it was just a bunch of blocks of stone and wood.
Right.
You mean the creepy nun-looking people who were actually like it's like oh man, that creepy.
That like their torso flipped like 180 degrees, and their like legs and arms were both like the same one, like crawling on the floor. Like that was really great. That was like hardcore, like Grudge, like The Exorcist, like type stuff.
You want to know where I really died at? When near the ending of the final episode of your reaction of the arc, when the doll from the Starry Heavens book pops up out of nowhere.
That was awesome. Oh my god, that was so cool.
No, you will sleep for all of eternity.
That was so random. There was like there's nothing like that was just for the fans, right? Like that was fan service in the truest extent. Like that was just like there was no point to it. There's no follow up to it. That was that scene, and that was hilarious. That was really, really funny.
That's actually one of the reasons I enjoy Fairy Tail so much. Is just different comedic moments, strategically placed throughout the show. It just makes it so much better.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even though there was no reason for it, it kind of made sense. Like even when Carla saw the vision kind of deal from the book, the warning
Carla,
that said don't.
Carla saw it.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
I was gonna say Carla and Lucy both saw the doll. Or the storybook doll, whatever.
Yeah,
Lucy turned around and saw it, or whatever.
Yeah, and even though it was just in the book, it seemed kind of like, even though it wasn't, it seemed kind of alive. So for it to actually come to life for a second and then nuke the staff was absolutely the most epic thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And it really, in a sense, didn't make sense. In a sense, also it was random because why didn't she do that before if she had that power?
It was completely random. Yeah, it was completely
why
random.
didn't she do that before?
But it was the what do they call it? The Infinity Castle, the fish. That whole concept was pretty interesting. Like it's the whatever the anchors that like launched out of the side to like to touch the ground, the ones that they kept destroying.
Yeah, that they still had over half left to go. And they
Right.
say,
So that was pretty interesting because those amplify, or like what would they say, like they didn't amplify, but like they transferred the
they
infinity
transfer the
clock power.
memories and the magic from the wizard, and once they merge completely, that will basically be the foundation, I think, to the true nightmare, because
Right.
they're touching the ground, so they're going to spread the true nightmare everywhere they touch. Essentially,
Yeah, so like the fillers or the anchors or whatever, they like spread the power around and was affecting everybody, but it was also sucking power into it. Sort of like the when the Irrational States was first introduced, like the giant walking city. Same thing with that. Like those like legs like sucked up power in order to use the beam.
You know what's kind of interesting? It's not quite, but when you mention that, it just makes me feel like this is like has partially a complete walking mirror of the Nirvana arc, which is the one with the walking
Yeah.
the walking thing, because like there was something with walking with really long things that was above ground, and then there was a villain, and they happened to be the Horatio Say, or I can't even say their name correctly. I'm so bad.
And they got defeated the first time they meet him.
Yeah, and how ironic that if you notice, they just switched the matchups a little bit. Like instead of Urza fighting Midnight, it was Cobra fighting Urza and Natsu fighting Midnight. They switched their two opponents up.
Yep. And Mira versus Razor or Racer.
I don't think Mira had much of a battle in the back in the
Yeah.
arc.
Oh yeah, she wasn't even there. Yeah, she wasn't even
Well,
there.
it's totally forgotten.
It was like Wendy versus, or Wendy didn't fight anybody. Or wait, did she?
No, Wendy was. I believe her key role was fascinating, overthinking it was Mystigan that she saw, and it was actually Jalal. Remember, that was her whole part of that arc.
Yeah, but I'm trying to remember if she fought anybody or
That's the point. I don't think
attempted
she
to fight.
did. I want to say she didn't though. I think she was one of the ones
Oh,
who did
she-
fight that arc. 'Cause she was introduced in that arc.
They no, Wendy. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to think if she got defeated by Zero, but I think she was. Yeah, she was trying to look for Jalal.
Yeah, that was her. That was kind of her most important thing. Of that and healing Jalal somewhat. I think he actually showed her healing him once when she originally found him, and that's where he said, "Yeah, I'm not who you think I am," and all that other stuff. And I think I know, like I said, I know Urza fought Midnight in that arc, and I know Natsu fought Cobra.
Gray versus shoot, I can't. It's so far back now.
Gray fought Racer, I think. Gray and Leon fought
Right.
Racer. I believe.
Yes, they did. Yeah. With the like freaking super ice tower like bow sniper like thing that he did.
That was like
That was the coolest thing.
it was such a good combo.
It was.
Just to think of actually doing that and then seeing it actually play out.
Yeah.
It's just awesome. I didn't even think that was a possibility.
Yeah. It
in
was
that
very.
episode until I
It
saw
was very out of left field. It was like wasn't even in the realm of possibilities that could possibly be the thing. I didn't even think about Racer like slowing down like a bubble, like people putting in bubbles and like walking around him kind of thing, or running around him. But like the upgraded Racer, like he truly has like speed magic, like
Yeah, at the cost of basically his humanity in a sense. Which I think is why he looked like kind of like a beast when he was on the ground on all fours when he was running. He even looked like he had sharper teeth for a second there before.
I mentioned he looking like a zombie when I first saw him, because like his mouth had those little like lines like zombies usually do in depictions of zombies or whatever. So it was pretty interesting to see all the different like personality changes and the new powers that they have. Like Cobra, not really using his. He
didn't use his true older powers until near the very ending of the fight with Urza, and he only. I think he actually could have taken Urza if he wouldn't have been distracted by the hearing the call of his friend
Cabellios.
I was just keeping it nice and cool, like the show, like the name of the episode was actually the voice of my friend,
right?
So I was keeping it, with
that in the truest of sense, that was the first time he heard her voice. she's kept hearing his voice like over and over and over and over and over again.
But he couldn't hear. That's why he kept saying how I want
Right.
to find a friend, because he didn't even really.
But then
per se
she got
hear
close enough, and then he heard her. It was very, very cool. I like that combo of.
But
yeah.
even though usually it seems like Fairy Tale always wins. Usually wins almost every fight they have. But I don't look at it as like a lot of people get annoyed that Fairy Tale like never loses sometimes. But in my opinion, yeah, that can be. But I look at it from a different way. I look at it from like, but how are they going to pull off that win? But it's always a surprising way. Like the thing with Leon and Gray, where they did the thing. That was it. Yes, you had an idea that they probably would win, or they would win. They might get beat up, but they might win. But the way they did it is kind of, it just puts you to thinking, like, how are they going to pull some amazing power up or amazing move off here?
Well, with the Ratchet Sace, both arcs that they appear in, they defeat Fairy Tale, like in one fell swoop or whatever,
Yeah.
and then they come back later individually, and like the Fairy Tale splits up individually to go fight each one. So in a way, they get defeated, they learn from that fight,
Yeah.
and then they kind of adapt it to.
Then they wreck face.
Yeah, and then when it all and like separated and everything, it's easier to manage.
I will mention one thing from the last episode: Lucy's willpower, and overpowering the clock's will itself to use the clock's magic to save Natsu. That was a pretty epic
cool.
scene for her.
I think it was a combination of Natsu breaking out himself as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, but actually, well, no, the spell was weakened. She cast True Nightmare on Midnight, which made him kind of not... He wasn't focusing on what he should be focusing on, so the spell got weakened, so Natsu was able to break out. That's what they meant when she saved Natsu. She didn't actually break his spell.
Right.
He broke it himself, but it was weakened because of her. So, yeah. That was a pretty epic scene, and then Natsu just like... You think you gave up sacrifices? I'll show you a sacrifice. I'm going to kick your butt.
Yeah. The really funny part, going back a little bit with Gajiel falling from the
Gildarts trying to catch him.
Gildarts catching him and then falling down. That was really funny too.
That was like,
crap, I'm trying to remember who Gajiel was trying to fight.
Gajiel tried to fight Midnight.
And that's what pushed him down?
Yeah, he got pushed like through it was kind of like he went through the wall, but the wall didn't break. So it must have been like Midnight's magic kind of deal.
Yeah. Okay.
It was weird.
Yeah, he got pushed through the wall, and then was falling down, and then Gildarts tried.
Gildarts like, I got you. No, you don't. No, you don't.
The pillar broke, and they both fell. Yeah.
But there's a lot of key moments during this arc that are still some of my favorites, and like the one where the reveal of Mirajane's Halphus demon mode during this arc.
Yeah. Oh, the god armor or whatever.
Yeah, the demon god.
The demon
Halphus.
Goddess.
Demon goddess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that form is pretty OP.
Satan Soul ain't nothing. Satan Soul ain't nothing next to that. You ain't touching it.
Just imagine being in whatever town it is she was going through.
Right?
Trying to find that one person.
Oh my god.
That would be so scary.
Yeah, so it seems like... Okay, so her demon form had bat wings, demon tail, and the claws and all that stuff. The goddess demon, or demon goddess, whatever, had like an angelic wings, and she was a lot quicker. She was like extreme. She like fought Racer with... Wait, did she fight Racer?
Yeah, she fought Racer with like they had pretty equal speed at the time. Then even when Racer activated his like inhumane speed, she kind of beat him with her power in the logic of his past and the fact that he's running away. She kind of mind fucked him at the same time as beating the crap out of him.
Yeah,
which is a pretty mean combo if you think about it. That's pretty fucked up. You already beat him up enough. Do you need to mind fuck him too?
Yeah. So that form does seem like very in a sense like her most dangerous transformations. And we saw another Elfman transformation too, like his like metal it looked metal. Transformation. I don't know.
And I believe he still got wrecked though, kind of. So
he did.
well, I mean, well, it was like I think he didn't he use it when he was fighting Michelle to help. Wasn't the one where he used when he was fighting helping Natsu try to fight Michelle?
Yeah, he was fighting Michelle with Natsu.
And I believe he got one hit with her her spiky vine things in a vital spot that kind of knocked him out of the fight.
He got entangled.
Yeah, that's what. Oh yeah, and then the red electricity
right, and then
thing.
Natsu got the same treatment, and they both went down for a little bit. Yeah, so usually in these kind of discussion things, I normally talk about my predictions on the next arc, but there's really nothing to go base off of. So that I've seen so far, anyways. So we'll just have to wait until Friday. This my reaction for the next arc, to even see what the arc is about, because there's nothing to base off. There's no there's no character.
There's stewing in there.
I don't know. I have no idea. They they just defeated a giant metal fish in the sky.
That's another reason why. That's another reason why people consider it filler, because it does happen before next arc, but in a sense, there's no lead up to make you have any idea of what's going to happen next, because the way they end it, they make it sound like it could be an anime original, like just one season story right there, 25 episodes. It ends so well, and so perfectly.
Yeah, it could be very well its own its own mini series or something like that. Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, I could probably guess that since I know very little about the movie and they have a new guild hall, I'm probably gonna base my theory off of that guild hall. So they're probably gonna maybe rebuild their guild hall, because they came back, or they came back from the 7-year fairy sphere spell, and their guild hall is a barn, or it's a really small building. And when they walk in, Makarov even says "Oh, we're gonna need a bigger guild hall." So that's what I'd say that is my prediction, is probably them gonna rebuild or something their guild hall, but maybe not be the entire arc of them building it, but maybe the filler beforehand, or not the filler, but the couple episodes beforehand, or the final couple episodes of the arc, them rebuilding the guild hall or something. I don't know.
Well, unfortunately, in our current state, all we can do is wait till Friday to find out, I suppose.
Yeah. But hopefully by the other discussion videos we do, I would have more to go off of, just to kind of think of something to talk about for that. But that's all my predictions for that goes.
I'm just gonna throw this in there. So how did you feel when Makarov and Mira and Urza went to go visit the new guild in town?
Oh yeah. Wait, was that this? That was this arc.
That was kind of the 3 couple episodes before this film,
right,
or so started. So it was still kind of in a way part of this, in a sense. Not
that was very, very funny. Makarov all being coy and just chilling out, not being mad or anything. He's just talking normally. It's oh, we'll we'll do this and this and this, and then the guy getting all mad and everything. That was very, 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 very cool moment.
Yeah, how he was talking all calmly, and he's so you guys, I heard you guys went to my guildies and talked about debt, huh? Well, you guys owe us a lot more than what we owe you in debt for all the repairs you're gonna have to pay for our guild hall.
And then Mira pitching in at the very
Mira and Urza together.
Mira and Urza, yeah.
Oh, man, that's horrible. That is bad for your health.
And I love the animation of the guild hall rocking back and forth as they're beaten up in the inside. That was really funny. That was a cool moment. I'm trying to think of the other kind of filler things that happened before this arc. I guess. A couple of the gripes that I've had. I had two gripes with this arc. They're very small. They're not.
Is being one of them?
That's just a given. That's just it's them. But yeah, 2 kind of small little gripes that I've had. One is just with I told you guys this beforehand, but another time we were in a call, but because I like Cabellios and Cobra, one of my gripes is Cabellios as a human. Like that was like one of my big gripes. Like I don't know what would I don't know. Okay, my rationale behind it is, back when we first met the Irrationales, I know you guys you guys, Richard and Justin, you guys know this, but I'm explaining this for the viewers. Okay, so the first time we met the Irrationales, they had all these flashbacks to when they were on the Tower of Heaven Island or whatever. And they all have like a vow, or what they call it? I think it was a vow, or every time they got defeated, they said like it was my vow to do something, right? Like it was, or it was. Shoot, what was it?
I remember what you're talking about. You're talking about, like, wasn't there 6 of them? And
yeah, it was
did
rations.
those make up the things to release if they all all the marks got taken off? Didn't they release 0?
It was I can't remember. It was like a pledge or vow or something,
or oath or something.
Yeah.
But
yeah, every time they got defeated, one of them, one at a time, they like revealed their oath, or whatever, to the Irrationales, or to to Zero, basically, or to Brain, I should say. Anyways, they always went to like a flashback of them as a kid. When Cobra was defeated, he talked about all he wanted to do was hear his friend, and it flashbacks to him with the Tower of Heaven, with his arm, or with Cabellios, the little snake, around his arm, and all he wanted to do was talk to his friend, the Cabellios. So we know the origins of Cabellios. She was a snake. So this arc made her a girl, and it, for some, Makarov said that it was a curse put on her. Which doesn't make sense, because as a little tiny like gardener snake, she was a snake. like it wasn't like Cobra went out and just like captured like some random girl and like cursed her to be a snake. And that was my gripe, but that's only it's so small because it's like one of my favorite characters, and I was like, yeah. But my other gripe was shoot, what was my other gripe? Shoot, I can't remember my other little gripe I had with the series, or the arc.
The arc was so good that you can't even remember why you
Well,
thought some parts.
it was a little gripe. Like, it was one of those little ones that I was like, what? Kind of thing. Shoot, no, I can't remember.
I'm sure it will come back to you. Might as well continue talking, and I'm sure it will come back out of nowhere. That happens a lot in everything.
So I guess since we're talking about like this is a filler arc, what other arcs in the past were filler? Like, or were there any filler arcs besides this one, or was this the first one?
Trying to remember that. Even though I read the manga and watched all the episodes to current date, just that you forget a lot of stuff.
Because I know there was filler episodes, but they've. I don't think I think this is the first filler arc, if I'm mistaken. If I'm not mistaken.
Well, even if it is, it'd probably be, like, it might be the first whole entire filler arc. I'm not sure. Let me check 1 second.
Because
I don't think anything before this was filler.
Yeah.
There's one thing that could possibly be considered filler, I think. That's the one where that lady makes the crazy, like, Drake machine.
That's
Drake
true.
Thing.
That was like that was 3 episodes or something like that. 2 or 3 episodes. Can't remember. Yeah, the dragon lady, who ate the whatever, like the hot dog on a stick or something like that. Yeah, so yeah, that would, I guess that was like a mini arc or something like that, or mini, yeah.
Okay, I literally just found a guide to every /filler/canon episode, and obviously I'm only going up to where we currently are, Yes, the one with the whole dragon Drake lady, 100% filler for that small arc. Everything after that up until well, actually yeah, yup, and the what is it? What arc is Kid Starry Sky's arc is also considered to be fully filler, apparently, probably because it wasn't in manga is why it's called filler. Um, and yeah, yeah. So only that and the Drake and a few extra side episodes apparently. Yeah,
Like
it
I
hasn't
know
been a full.
Changelings. Changelings was like one of the most, the one that I remember the most as filler.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
that
Some
one
of
and
those are just.
episode 9 was also filler. Now, Natsu devours a village was also a filler.
oh shoot, what happened in that episode? Um, oh, wait. Yeah, the on the way back from the guild conference after they defeated Aragorn, they came across a village with nobody in it, and the village like started eating, or came alive, and they and Natsu and
Yes.
company devoured the town. Yeah, that would make sense as filler.
And yes, changing is also filler, and the day of the fateful encounter. I don't remember. That's episode 49 and episode 50. Was also
Day of the
filler. Oh, it
Fateful.
says mostly filler. I mean, there was some canon parts in it, but it was mostly filler for those episodes.
I have. I'm guessing that's probably the Wendy episode, but I could be wrong.
Uh,
No, wait, no, it was the Lucy getting like a date, and Kana like reading her fortune, saying that she's gonna have a fateful encounter,
mm,
and then going to the bookstore, and there's a book called The Fateful Encounter, and she goes into it, and the guy like all like the writer or whatever.
yeah, because
Uh,
episode 50 is called Special Request. Watch out for the guy you like, which is also mostly filler, apparently. Um, yeah, 'cause,
yeah,
like like those earlier episodes, I wasn't big into what's canon and what's filler at the time. I was just watching it to enjoy the show. I didn't really
right.
care. So
Yeah, I'm
and then
watching. I'm watching everything, no matter what. So
yeah, and after that, yeah, everything's canon now up until oh yeah, we have the arc we just did, which was all filler, and then yeah, we got a lot of canon incoming, a lot.
yeah, seeing how this next arc is 53 episodes, like yeah, like double this arc in length. So yeah, like I said, I have no predictions at all about the next coming things. I'm only predicting like either the start or the final couple episodes of the next arc doing something to do with the guild hall, but that's only because I know the movie had a different guild hall and different clothes on some characters. That's the only thing I know about the movie that Dark Wolf told me about. Other than that, the movie should be like good to go. But we're gonna wait until after this arc to watch it, just to be like,
Well, I actually looked something up, um, and yeah, if you want to wait till then, that's fine. I'm just gonna realize that I think it. There's a lot of people saying it. You know what? Yeah, just to avoid a comment or in the comment section, I suppose you should just I guess wait because I know
yeah,
some people were saying you can watch it. Some people were saying that telling Dark Wolf that you shouldn't watch it. So
yeah, he got a lot of hate for it.
even though I don't think he's technically wrong on what order, but we'll just let the crowd win this one.
But yeah, so I have no predictions on what's coming up next. I can do like what I would like to see from Fairy Tail.
Yeah,
um,
let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do
okay,
that.
so we've seen a lot of bad guy stuff, like big baddies that like are overpowered, like all the crap. Doing like ridiculously like world-ending events, right? Like every arc has some kind of world-ending, like apocalyptic scenario. So I would probably guess maybe another one, but at the same time, I would like there to be something different. Like, I don't know. Something besides a world-ending apocalyptic event.
So, do
Like,
you want an arc with the ending being rainbow and sunshines? Is that what you're saying? Because that's what I'm getting from
well,
this.
I don't know. Like, maybe an arc filled with, like, job requests or, like, quests and stuff like that. Like, every... Like,
Was
the
it like the
arc...
first 15 episodes?
Yeah, pretty much. But, The arc would consist of like even like not buffing up, but like getting more experience or training or I don't know. Like the whole arc is like based around getting better or like trying to figure out what happened in the 7 year gap kind of stuff. But like every episode is them on a different job doing something like a lot of shows have like every episode's like their own kind of storyline. Like every episode's got a beginning, middle, and end. But I'm sure that's not going to happen. But like that's something that I would like to see more of. Because big arcs and stuff like that are great. Like there's no doubt about it. But I would like to see something different besides like one or two of those kind of one story episodes between arcs. Be fun to see. Also, I'd probably like to see more of the background character stuff. I know we just got back from the 7 year gap, so I know a lot of background characters might have, like the ones that got left behind of a fairy tale, like try to maybe see what they had to deal with in the 7 year gap. I know we had a little hint of it here and there with Macao as the guild leader, but he didn't really talk about it too much. And at the guild in general, like the entire Fairy Tale Guild in general, talking about or explaining, I guess, the 7 year gap and what they had to go through, and why so many people left Fairy Tale, right? Like they had when they were in Tenra Island, there was a flashback, or not flashback, but like a side flash or whatever you call it, to the guild hall in the city. And they had like they had this moment where they're like, oh, we have a lot of new members, kind of stuff, and then they after the 7 year gap, they had almost that exact same scenario, but it was, wow, we don't have any members left or something like that. Like it was like a mirror image of that scene from Tenra Island. It was very, very funny to see that all the different characters, like how they changed in the 7 years. Like the one guy getting fat and everything.
So what you're basically wanting is you want like what you want to see. I mean, is to have the characters basically coming to terms on what's changed in the 7 years, besides a little bit we've gotten and stuff.
Well, maybe not coming to terms. Well, yeah, coming to terms would be kind of cool to see. But what I'm saying is the people who had to live through the 7 years, not in the fairy sphere. Like the stories and like how do I explain this, the lives they had to deal with, like the walk through the 7 years, like because like for example Macao, right, what he had to go through in the 7 years to keep the guild alive, that would be cool to see. I don't know. Just a personal thing that like I said, I'm sure it's not going to happen, but it's just something I would like to see at some point. Just a little bit of background story on the characters in the 7 years. So
yeah, I can see where that would.
And I'm sure you guys are just like screaming in your head. You're like, "Oh, he's wrong. It's not gonna happen." That kind of
All
stuff.
I'm gonna say is, I think you will be very, very, very hyped for the next one.
Okay. Yeah, so I should be watching that Friday morning, the next 4 episodes of the new arc. So once that comes
4
out,
episodes.
Yeah.
So wait, are you doing 4 episode videos for the whole arc, or
No, just the start and the ending of the arc.
Okay.
So basically,
because it was split up into 3 episodes per video, but the last video, if I did that pattern all the way down 3, the last set of videos would have been in 2. So I just combined those. I split those 2, and I put one of the videos with 4 reactions, and then the final set of videos with 4 as well, just to kind of even it out.
This is probably the longest arc you've done.
I think it is in general in Fairy Tale, right? It's like the longest arc in general.
Yeah, I think it is the longest arc, at least thus far.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, so it should be interesting. Again, there's like no hints at all what it could be, so I have no idea. Like I don't know why it's long. I don't know why people like it so much. I don't know. I don't know anything. I'm going in blind, so that's just the way it is. But it should be interesting.
Yeah, to say the very least.
Oh yeah, one thing I didn't talk about was Cobra giving up at the very end.
Yes,
That was interesting.
That was some pretty major character development there, actually.
It was.
uh,
Him like learning about Cabellios and everything, but like after like basically like giving up to protect her because she was starting to turn right like
yeah,
or something. I don't know. Her hands started glowing.
I mean, I want to say that obviously we already know he kind of like just went with the idea of getting like taken away to avoid her having to join him in it being taken as well because they even you heard their mindset
Right.
of
Yeah,
the
Cobra
council
did. Yeah.
saying Cobra hearing them say that if she's an accomplice of his we have to take her too.
Yeah.
So and obviously there was something going on with her. I mean her hands were starting to like send up this purple like aura that kinda were the same color as she was when she was Cabellios.
Yeah. So
But
I wonder if it's that curse that Makarov was talking about. Or something, I don't know. Again, that's a big gripe of mine of that whole situation. But yeah,
yeah, that's probably another reason why people like people like to say like they're not a big fan of filler arcs, and usually it's because one, it's on the manga. Two, they don't always tell you enough to fully understand what you're seeing, which thus. But then again,
yeah, a
no,
lot of like
no
blank spaces in the
yeah,
or plot holes or yeah, whatever you call them. Yeah, or not like plot holes, but like speed bumps or just like little tiny things that don't add
yeah,
up with the story. But you have to kind of like think about it for a little bit, and then you'll kind of get like a vague idea of what the truth.
yeah. And even if they're minor things, I mean, they don't pale in comparison to the major cool things that happen. So.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there'll always be like those little blemishes on the face of the arc itself, but they get over them, can ignore them. But I'll tell you something. I've already seen these episodes a long ass time ago. I watched your reaction. I was telling you this in the comments of your on Skype and stuff. I was talking on Skype about it. Mentioned it. I cried like a bitch during this reaction to the videos, dude. There
Yeah.
was two things where my eyes just started watering and tearing up, and that was at the Michelle bit and the Cobra bit. Oh man, those destroyed my soul. Even though I've already seen them
Yeah,
probably multiple times each.
the Michelle bit was pretty sad. Like learning that she was who she really was, right? Like through the whole my whole reaction, I was like, but who is she really? Like,
Yeah, and
like,
the whole thing is, technically she didn't lie. She was there with us. She did do all those things. She
Right.
lied about obviously being Michelle Lobster. That's
Yeah.
probably the only lie I think she told, actually, to be honest. That and the
Yeah.
fact that she was there currently on their side. Technically, even though she felt like she was helping Lucy, she technically wasn't on her side at that point, even though she kind of it was hard to explain really.
yeah,
But what she was fighting for was right, and obviously they touched on that during the arc that it actually Michelle hinted at her own lies and betrayals of her own character throughout the arc when they show the flashbacks of her saying all the things she said. She hinted at how she really felt herself and everything else.
yeah,
Like that's just ways people justify their actions. Hard in your heart, and you can justify any of your actions. Sound like anyone, Michelle?
yeah. Seeing her like kind of go through like her new life, like going to Lucy's dad and like helping him.
Yeah, he clicked. He
Clicked.
That
Yeah,
broke me too, dude.
that was
Oh.
really sad. Like that almost broke me. Like that was a very very cool moment on his
And he
part.
knew it was the work of I think he knew it was the work of magic. He says, "I always thought magic was a profound and a different, amazing, interesting thing." And then I don't know. He just says, "And I know you'll be her little sister again someday." And it's like, oh my god, no, dude!
That was
It even made her cry. I was crying with her.
yeah.
That was oh man, that was something else.
Oh yeah, another thing was like Lucy being trapped inside like that like gel stuff. Like while she's doing it, she's like yelling like outward, being like, I'm okay, I'm here, but like her body never reacted and everything.
Yeah, it was kind of like she was communicating via telepathy in a sense, because even though it wasn't, though, they heard her most of the time, but her body didn't move, so it was almost like a mind thing, even though it wasn't.
Well, it's like her mind was like,
hard to explain.
Her mind was like part of the machine.
So the machine itself was probably projecting her thoughts.
Yeah,
in a sense.
like it was when she was like fully like inside. When she was talking normally, and then everyone was like, "Is that Lucy?"
Oh my god, that's just fine. Hey, I can kind of smell her all around this place. She was the castle. Her scent became the entire castle.
Yeah.
To talk about the scent. Oh man, that was. I
want to become a castle. Awesome.
That'd be interesting.
Giant flying castle with extreme magic. I mean, who wouldn't want to do that?
Yeah, going back to the Michelle bit, I think it was very, very clever on the writer's bit or even the visual effects, whatever. To the painting that we first saw at the very beginning of of Lucy and Lucy's mom and dad, that big painting. It's very, very clever on their part to rip the part where it has the doll, because I had no idea the doll was a thing until Michelle was revealed, and so that was a very in my eyes it was a very, very cool twist to the thing. So
but look on your face during the reaction, it was a cool twist to you, but it first took you a minute to process what the hell's going on.
Yeah, it's like
when she dropped to the ground as a doll, you're like,
I'm like, wait, what? Like, at first I was trying to think because with Zero, he was like a lock of hair, right? So I was trying to think of what would Michelle be? What like significance would a doll be to Michelle? Thinking, I was trying to think if Michelle was the real person kind of thing, I don't know. But yeah, it did make sense. Actually, now that I think about it, right? So they made her Michelle, and the real Michelle was put into a coma or whatever.
The Michelle Lobster was put into a coma, and they originally Lucy was going to try the name Gonzalez, but then then Lucy's mom's like, how about we try something more feminine for her, it is a girl doll after all.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure that they didn't actually show them saying it, but obviously they chose the name Michelle, which was kind of interesting. They chose the same name as the identity that she took on, and it kind of shows that. Oh, Scott.
It makes you wonder if what caused the lobster family to die off. If the neon ration says caused it for their master plan. But it happened in the 7-year gap. It happened when Fairy Tale wasn't
Yeah, but so did the Michelle thing, because Michelle was still working for the father, and the father was already dead by the time the 7-year gap was done. So that means that this Michelle was also created during the 7-year gap, and I believe. Oh, what?
But it's because Lucy was in this fairy sphere for 7 years. Midnight had no possible way of knowing that Lucy was going to show up, so why bother with the doll that she owned?
I don't think the original, obviously they chose Lucy, but I feel like originally their main goal was the clock hand, which they knew that the heart failure the father had.
That's true.
And so they sent Michelle to do that.
Okay.
And when I'm guessing from what I could tell, and the fact that you're right, they didn't know that Lucy was going to be back. So I'm thinking originally Michelle's goal was to do that, but what she heard, obviously she even said that she heard, she didn't go to Fairy Tale until after they were back.
Yeah.
And what makes me think is that she let Jude's last wish get the best of her, go against what she was told to do for her mission, and she brought it to Lucy anyway, even though she was ordered to get it for herself.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't actually touch much on that, but based off the way that Michelle actually does love Lucy, and she did value the time that they spent together, even though she was a doll. Yeah. Obviously, this doll had feelings. Obviously,
yeah.
Immense feelings. That if you forget about them, they will be really sad and want things to go back to the way they were, even if it means killing all your guildies and all your friends. But I mean, part of me feels somewhat bad for her even still, even though what she was doing, she felt like she was fighting for the right reason. And you could tell that she obviously wouldn't have done it if she would have knew that harm was going to come to Lucy in any way, because the minute Midnight opened his big yap, she was like, oh, nah, fuck this. And then she tried to save her, and then she got turned back into the doll.
Yeah.
Which kind of shows that Zero was also the one that turned her into a actual person, too.
Yeah, like he
He showed up at the house, I think. Or was it...
it was midnight.
Yeah, I mean, I know it was midnight, but I'm trying to figure if the doll was at the house or the shop at that time. Or I want to say it was the house.
The doll was at the house because when she said she was waiting, and then she was waiting for Lucy to show up, but
my sister who came back.
Yeah.
Just shows Midnight all silhouette with one red glowing eye on the right side.
And even the staff guy had glowing eyes too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I full on expected. Like, okay, so going back to like the original Arachio Sace, crap, what's the arc called again?
Nirvana.
Nirvana.
Yeah.
When they introduced the staff as a member, or no, the staff wasn't a member.
It was still the staff used by what's his face, Brain, I guess the original, which is his actual name.
But
and then when it goes to Berserk is Zero.
But was the staff? I feel like they said something, like the staff was made by Zeref, like the Book of Zeref kind of stuff, like I don't know why I think that. I feel like
you have some memory of that in your mind for some reason. There must be some connection you're forgetting or something. I don't know. I don't quite remember either because I try to forget sad or painful events. I mean, I still remember the series as a whole, but that arc, I don't remember all of this stuff. I remember all the key battles, but certain words that were said, I don't always remember that stuff. I usually have to look back. So it was pretty early on.
Yeah, it was very early on. A couple months ago in my time.
Yeah, I think it's before the Endless arc actually. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so I guess this is a good point to wrap up, because there's not much else to talk about the arc in general, because we pretty much talked about it. Yeah. So any kind of final thoughts?
I guess I mean, in terms of final thoughts, I thought it was a great arc, like I said already. Every arc is probably gonna have some kind of flaws in some way.
Right.
This one, in my opinion, I wasn't too caught up on the gripes that you were. I mean, they are kind of like...
They're very small.
They're very small.
Very small.
They are noticeable to some people, and some people will probably not let them go, but those are the same people who probably complain about the show overall. Anyway, on top of that... the
other gripe that I remember...
Oh, you remembered. I knew you would.
Okay, so I talked to you guys about this before on the previous Skype call that we did. The clock face. Remember
right.
The
size of the...
yeah, when Gajil and shoot, what's her team called?
Shadow Gear.
Shadow Gear. Yeah, Team Shadow Gear. When they both got, and Lily, Lily was there too. When they got their piece of the clock face with the numbers on the sides. Gajil picked it up like nothing, like over his shoulder or whatever. And then when later on, a couple episodes later, or whatever, I think it was 1 or 2 episodes later, when all the pieces were combined, the clock face grew in size when it got combined.
I guess obviously that just means that the clock face was magical and had super growing powers.
Also, in that arc too, I fully expected, or this arc I should say, I fully expected that the guy with the spear, using his weapon to stab the clock base, the legs of it, to shrink it so that way they can move it. But
that's actually a really interesting thought.
Yeah, I full on thought that was gonna happen. I'm like, I like in my reaction too. I think I said that too. Oh yeah, get the guy's spirit to transfer it or whatever. But then I forgot they said they were all gonna combine into one place or convert or whatever into one place to deal with it, which ultimately became a bad idea.
Well,
honestly, you could always go with what Urza wanted to do. I mean, she could just throw it onto her giant cart of luggage.
Well, that's Urza. I mean, she's Urza.
I mean, if you remember back into the first episode you saw her,
she had
carrying a giant freaking horn.
Yeah, yeah. I wonder if she still has that horn. I feel like I saw the horn like. Oh crap! Where was it before? There was some. It was some like. There was some exterior shot of the guild hall at some point. It wasn't near the beginning of the show. It was like sometime later, and I swear I saw that horn like out front somewhere, as like a Easter egg maybe thing. But at the same time, I don't know. I feel like
Yeah,
I
I
saw
think
the horn later at some point, but
I have a feeling that I did as well.
like
Can't
maybe on her cart when when they went to go to the acting gig or whatever. Or after that, once when Wendy had her first big job, when she had her cart with her again that time. One of those times, one of the times that she brought her cart along, it might have been attached to it, or with it or something. I don't know. But yeah, so yeah, Richard, any kind of final thoughts?
Oh, I wasn't done with mine. You remember you had to.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Continue. Continue.
Continue with
Continue.
your thing you had forgotten about.
Continue.
Like I said, good arc. Some truly great things happened in the arc. Some cool plot twists and stuff that take you some things that actually took you for a surprise instead of being obvious.
Mm-hmm.
There were a lot of obvious things like the fact that Fairy Tail's gonna win, which will always be the 100% thing. Even if they lose at first, they always win overall.
Yeah.
That's Fairy Tail for you. They never give up. What was else? There were a lot of I wasn't expecting. Like I said, I wasn't expecting to feel any feels, considering I've seen this arc before. But apparently, I'm not immune to it. Even many years after, a year or so after I've seen the episode, doesn't matter. I'm not immune. The whole thing with what was I going to touch on before you had to? Because you came up with your thing that you had forgotten. But at the same time, I think that botched what I was thinking at the same time.
Oh, sorry.
Jeez. Okay, it had to do with the arc overall.
The
I think all I was
events?
gonna say was like, okay, the arc was good. Had some problems like everything else. Nothing big. Nothing that mattered really. Just small things.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm just looking forward to. Because even though I've seen it, I have no issues, obviously, watching this next arc along with you for the ride again. No, can't wait to have more discussions because I am sure there will be more.
Yeah, so this episode's already like an hour long. Wait, I'm fine with keep going, by the way. I'm not like rushing to stop or anything. But the next discussion videos, they might not all be an hour long. That we will just go until there's nothing else to talk about, kind of stuff. So, just for future reference, they're not all going to be an hour long. They might though. I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like this might be this whole fairy tale discussion might come into a whole new ray of discussions with the whole next arc. But anyway, maybe we should go on to Richard's thoughts on the overall thoughts on this now.
Yeah, it was a really good arc. I personally, I myself, I would in my mind consider it canon because it's awesome.
It is pretty solid.
Yeah, true. Canon makes awesome. Anything awesome equals canon. If it's worth the watch, it's worth being called canon.
There were, a couple of small things throughout the arc that were kind of bad. I think we've covered pretty much all of them. Mainly the butt Jiggle Gang.
Yeah, that wasn't a small one though. That one was literally the big gripe. That was my big gripe with the arc. That wasn't a small gripe for me. Every time I went out to school, I went to get a snack because that's how little I cared. Cobra looked down.
I did too. I just leaned back. I was like,
I remember one of the times when they popped up. You got this package of cupcakes or something out, or crackers, and started eating them and just looking down, not even looking up anymore. Then when you heard Natsu's voice, Natsu just to say no.
He's like, oh, okay. What's going on now? They're gone? Cool.
I could watch the show again without shielding my eyes.
And then the Jiggle Gang came into view.
Oh, please no. Bring back my memories of the dark times. This is
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you. There are some other characters that are just pure cancer. I'm not gonna say anything else.
Gosh.
There'll always be shows with characters that are obviously make people want to just say this is I'm done.
It's the Japanese nature to like put up weird characters every once in a while.
Like the fascination where every anime needs at least one lolly. That's every show.
I guess, yeah.
It's kind of true. I mean,
I guess in this sense it's Wendy, right? Like in
Wendy would be considered that essentially. Yeah.
She's constantly talking about her chest size too.
Yeah, I don't know why they even focus on hers of all people. Like she is the one that, like, I guess it's to make the joke, make fun at the fact that she is a lolly. I guess.
Guess.
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know why you need to add that into the description of any like dialogue at all. Like it's not.
She's always embarrassed whenever someone mentions or something in her chest.
You can't really blame her. She got to see herself at Atlas. I feel really bad. that was kind of kind of messed up. It's like this is what you could have looked like if you were over here. Anyway, let's get off the topic of
continue,
chest
Richard.
Sizes.
Continue. Richard?
Richard?
okay.
Did you have anything else to talk about?
Not really. I just like the fact that Lucy became a castle for a few minutes.
Yeah.
She became the whole shebang, the whole surface, the entire being itself.
And just gotta say one more thing. Pretty much everybody in Fairy Tail can now say they've been inside Lucy.
Oh, wow. That is such a horrible joke. But
well, not everybody, but yeah, that's
well, Natsu can say it at least. So
Natsu, Happy, Midnight,
no. Really goes around, huh?
Actually, I think at some point, didn't every single person end up in that main room?
Actually, except for the people down that were still at the guild hall, which were only a few people, you could pretty much say all the fairy tales. But oh wow, that's kind of sad. Let's drop this before this becomes rated R conversation. Oh man,
I had to make the joke.
It was a good one.
It's a pretty legit joke.
It was a good one.
It makes sense with what she became, I guess, essentially. Yeah. But overall, like I said, I can't wait till we have our next Fairy Tale. Yeah. Sick makes me stutter and say wrong words.
Should be this Friday.
What'd you say?
It should be this Friday. The next one. The next discussion.
But like I said, my only big gripe was the butt Jiggle Gang, and to be honest, everything else was minor. If anything else was a problem, it was minor. If they would have erased the butt Jiggle Gang from the arc, it would have been almost the perfect 100% best filler arc of all time, probably.
Yeah, it was up there.
It was definitely up there. So yeah, I can't. It was nice being a part of this Fairy Tale shebang. Castle Lucy, all team one for all. Everyone wins. GG.
Yep.
I need background on the chest Jiggle Gang in the next arc, please.
Oh god. See, we don't even know like the true background for the butt Jiggle Gang, but I don't want to know. because
That's the only characters I've ever heard you say I don't want to know their backstory.
I don't care. I literally do not give a single care. Like with the bit in here when like they interrupted Urza's team when they were trying to get their piece.
True scoundrelism.
Yeah, like they were doing that whole true scoundrel crap and like trying to I guess distract or something. No, Urza was distracting them, and then it cut away and it came back and like I guess they finished their whole background story thing, and she's like just like no, that's not anything.
Urza lost so much respect from you when she put on that damn outfit.
Well. Not that much, but yeah, it did seem.
I didn't say a lot.
It was fan service. It was fan service to put her in. So
yeah, probably because of the butt and emphasis on the butt. And I don't know why they put Wendy in it because Wendy does. We won't talk about Wendy. Poor Wendy.
I feel like the suit adds like a ton pounds or whatever to that area. So
That's why it's the butt jiggle gang, because their outfit adds like 10 extra pounds of fluff to
And
their
then
butt.
the whole section right before the chest, no, the chest Jiggle Gang when they got introduced, that whole section when all of them, Kana, Urza,
Why were they dancing
like
like butt jiggle gang? Do the costumes make them dance too? I'm starting to think they do.
it's like the Endless cat that like moves his hand up and down.
That was
Like-
I love that cat. Like, I was such a comedy crutch just because every time he did that, it was like so amusing to
But
me.
it's
And then when he
it's sort
started
of like
doing people
that.
at the edge.
Yeah, it's sort of like that effect where like, you know, that a character does
That's
something
so
for so
weird.
long, it becomes like an inside joke. So the show starts like making fun of itself, kind of stuff.
Yeah, because they did the same thing with the hand thing. Because then the whole guild, when they got back to Earthland, were waving their hands like that fucking cat.
Yeah.
Oh, that was.
And they did it at a different time, right? I can't remember. They like after Endless, they did something. I think
after Edalus arc was the whole Tenro Island arc.
yeah, but I think there was like a small moment, very small, like, you know, couple seconds long moment where they started like moving their hands up and down like the cat did. I don't remember when. It seems like that again. It's one of those things that like it's been so long for me to remember that a lot of details are missing. So it's like I think they have that happened. I don't know. But yeah, so yeah, this is a pretty good wrapping up point. Like I said, Friday, hopefully we can get together again to talk about the next arc, the beginnings of the next arc, I should say. The next 4 episodes. So yeah, until then.
Yes, on to the more glory and more reactions coming up on Friday. May we
Yeah.
all show up in prosperous happiness.
So thank you everyone who's watching this video, and hope you guys subscribe to this channel, because my second channel, the one that this is on, will be the home for these discussion videos, because these are an hour long, and because my main channel still has the main strike, so I can't upload anything for above 15 minutes. This would totally be like parts that are to upgrade it or upload it to my main channel. So for now, the discussions will stay here on this channel. So subscribe just to see more and all that stuff. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Justin, for joining me. And,
No problem.
I will see you guys next discussion. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.